Today, I'm going to show you how to make paper puppets with moving mouths and moving eyes. You're going to need some high quality paper, like cardstock or watercolor paper. You'll want to draw a large head, about the size of your palm, along with a thick neck. That will hide all the moving parts and components that make this into a puppet. You should use the drawing process I always recommend. Do planning lines, ink your work, add details in both pencil and ink. You might want to hold off on cutting till you're done with this part. You erase your lines, then you add coloring. Some people find it easier with a whole piece of paper. You'll notice I'm not adding any color to the eyes, and I'm leaving plenty of space for a mouth because it needs to open and close. Now I use a hobby knife, but you can also use a utility knife or even a sharp pocket knife for this part. It's important to measure how far apart the eyes are for the top lip. I'm not giving too much of a curve, and you'll notice I'm really making a large opening, and then I'm carefully cutting and piercing through the paper. You could do this with scissors, but I think you would have to fold your paper. But you can do what you have to do at home. Noticing I'm adding more curvature to the bottom of the mouth, and then hopefully, it all pops out. Then it's time to cut out the eyes. Now this is fine detail work, so you got to be careful. Notice that I'm moving the paper instead of moving the knife. You don't want the knife to slip and then cut you. So instead, I pierce with the knife and then I pull it back towards me, but I move the paper a lot too. And then I'm able to cut out the eyes. Then it's time to take your scissors or your hobby knife and clean up your cuts. I then take a separate piece of paper and color it so it matches the rest of the face. I call this the mouthpiece. The mouthpiece has to be wide enough to cover up the mouth hole that you've made, but it also needs to be thin enough to fit into the neck. So I have to trim it to make sure it fits. And then I give it a little bit of a curvature as well, so it looks more like a mouth. Once I'm sure my mouthpiece will fit behind the neck and will cover the inside of the mouth hole, then I can start decorating my mouth with lips or even teeth. It depends on your character and what feel you want to give it. The next thing I have to do is produce a pocket for the mouthpiece to fit into. This will do two things. It will keep the alignment of the mouthpiece as it goes up and down, but this pocket will also serve as a backdrop of the inside of the mouth. So I tape it on and then I mark where the top of the mouth is. Then I draw some teeth. And then I start shading in the inside of the mouth with a red pencil. You could also use black. Then I make sure that the mouthpiece fits, and now it's time to start working on the mechanics. I take a normal skewer and tape it down very carefully, very securely with either masking tape or, as you see here, Scotch tape. You must make sure that it is secure. Sometimes I even shave down the skewer as well. And then it fits behind the pocket. Once you have the skewer attached, take a straw, in this case a small paper straw that I found, and measure how far down it needs to be so that the mouthpiece can easily open and close. Then you carefully tape the straw down as well. Now this needs to be strong because this is how you're going to hold the puppet. Then you carefully tape down the pocket so that the mouthpiece securely goes up and down. On a thin strip of regular paper, measure where the pupils will be by drawing them through the eye sockets. Then, using a piece of tag board, create what I call the eye slider. And this you fold around the thin strip of regular paper. Then you carefully attach the eye slider so it sits behind the eye sockets. Then you fit in the slip of paper. Make sure you put it right side up so the eyes fit where they should. Then you fold back the thin strip of eye paper. Cut a piece of thick paper that fits between the two slips of the eye strip. Then fold it back and tape heavily. Then this thick piece of paper will control the eyes. And then you fold it so it fits behind the neck. This will serve as a handle so you can move the eyes and move the mouth simultaneously. Attach a piece of tape on the skewer to make sure you don't push up the mouth too high. Then it's time to practice. You should be able to put your puppet on camera and move the skewer up and down and track the eyes left and right by moving the piece of paper. I know that was fast, but that's everything I know. Good luck to you.